All right, YouTube. This is the Upstate Prepper back at you with part two. Um, Off my cell phone, don't really have a lot of editing capabilities, so my wife gave me a call, and that ended that video on her lunch break. But that's okay. So as I was saying, I don't know if there's microbial laundry detergent. If there is, I would definitely get some and start using that for a couple months or longer, if necessary. And if you don't wash your clothes, make sure you wash them in hot temperatures, hot water. Dry it in obviously high heat. You want to dry that for longer than normal. So if you normally dry your clothes for 40 minutes, then put them in for 60. Let it dry that extra 20 minutes. It's got 20 more minutes of heat in there. It'll do wonders at killing whatever's in there. Medically, we want to make sure. I don't remember from the first part if we talked about the rubbing alcohol prep pads and rubbing alcohol. Great sanitizer. Just a reminder. Other than that, you want to make sure you have a medical kit of some sort. It's always good to have one. This isn't necessarily just my medical kit. My medical kit would probably take an entire video just to go over. But I brought this out just for illustration. But you want to have something. This would be perfectly fine. You want to make sure that you have something. You want to make sure that you have some sort of gloves in case you have to touch someone that might possibly be infected, or maybe you don't have access to some wipes. These are vinyl gloves. You can get rubber, latex, whatever you like, but make sure you've got some gloves. You also want to make sure you have some apple cider vinegar. The reason you want this is it raises the alkaline level in your body, and viruses don't like higher alkaline leveled atmospheres, places for it to be. So a teaspoon in the morning and a teaspoon in the evening over a period of time will raise that alkaline level in your system and will make it more undesirable for viruses to want to live there. And it's believed that cancer doesn't really like the higher alkaline levels either. So you might be getting a double benefit for one right there. This is get some cough and cold medicine, whatever you prefer. This is cough and cold with mucus relief. That would be what I would really suggest, because of you don't want those fluids coming down your throat and down into your lungs. Nasal spray, I would get that. Some anti-diarrheal. That could come in handy to keep yourself from getting dehydrated. This is some airborne. These are real nice. They have a lot of vitamin C, helps boost up your immune system. So those are real nice to have. I'd also add in there a good one-a-day type vitamin that has 100% of all your vitamins and minerals are basically that you can take. Excuse me, and that'll help keep your system strong as it possibly can. Also, in case you have to quarantine, well, now you're going to need some either 4 mil plastic or some good tarpage, something like that. You're going to need to have some duct tape. Don't get the dollar, brand duct tape that has a little picture of a duck on it or anything like that. Get Gorilla duct tape. That stuff is worth its weight in gold. You put that up there, it's going to stick, because you don't want that falling down. You have to put up a plastic barrier for a quarantine room in your house. Then you're not going to want that plastic to come down. You want to have to keep that solid, so that you can be in the rest of the house. The other members of the family can be in the rest of the house without having to worry too much. Worry less, at least. Which gets me to, if there is a quarantine, you have run into some sort of issue, my preference is going to be to quarantine at home. That's what I plan on doing. I will seclude a room or a space and have it plasticed off, and it will be a secure area if I were to become sick or something like that. I myself would not go to the hospital. I would not do that unless the situation became, medically necessary, respiratorily, to where I couldn't breathe or was having very much difficulty in breathing, and I needed to go in order to be intubated or possibly intubated. But I was that sick that I needed to go to the hospital. And which, by the way, what I've heard is intubation is necessary for recovery if you get to the point where you need to be intubated. Those people that were told they needed to be intubated and refused for whatever reason, they didn't like it, they were afraid, whatever the reason was, those people don't make it. So if you're told that you need to be intubated, you need to say yes. You need to let them intubate you, or you're probably not going to make it. So that's just that's what I've been able to gather. So also with that, so also, if you have any breathing sprays that you need to take, whether they're long term or albuterol, rescue inhalers, make sure you have those all up to date. You have your prescriptions up to date. Make sure you have them. Make sure you're not going to run out. You want to have definitely any sort of breathing sprays that you need. Make sure you have. Also, any other medical equipment that may make life a little bit easier with dealing with someone at home that's being self-quarantined. Anything like that, and other things like that that can make it easier to care for them, to keep track of how well they're doing. You're going to want to do that too. You're going to want to do your best for your family members, and have them do their best for you. So, excuse me. So, what do we know so far? This is my opinion is. It's too much coincidence that this came out of Wuhan, where they have that viral facility there, that biohazardous facility. Too much of a coincidence. I mean, to me,